Hello, everybody. Peace. I pray you're having a blessed day today. And today I'm going to be talking about something that I heard about. That was a long pause.
From beautiful seas to flourishing legacies.
Something that I heard about, which really got me thinking, and it really inspired me. And it was something about the devil and how you deal with the devil, not by cursing the devil, but by saying in the name of God. Now, the reason why this really resonated with me, this saying about dealing with the devil in this way of not cursing them or shouting or screaming, but rather by saying in the name of the Creator. The reason why it resonated with me so much is because a lot of the qualities of the devil are like the qualities of what many of us would call narcissistic people, right? People with narcissistic qualities, narcissism, people who are diagnosed as this, sociopaths or whatever it is you want to call it. But there's this resemblance of a human and devil. And it's interesting because in Islam we believe that there are human devils, and we also believe that there are jinn devils. The human devils can be spoken to in some ways. You might be able to change their mind on some level, even though I know there's a lot of questionable research on that, which talks about not being able to change a person who has narcissism. But at the same time, the devils, which are the jinns, they cannot be reasoned with. So the point is, the reason why this stood out to me so much is because it reminded me of a conversation that I had with someone. And this person, I don't believe that this person is a bad person. It was just a conversation that we had. But they did have these certain personality traits, right? They were narcissistic traits. I remember having a conversation with them, and they would say things, and I had this thing called reactive anger. And that is when someone throws something at you and they're pushing your buttons. They know what they say, they deny, they gaslighting you. And as I said, this person, I do believe that they are genuinely a good person. They just have a lot of things going on. But anyway, this conversation, this person was triggering, and it was extremely, I felt gaslit. They denied everything that they had done, and I kind of began to get even more and more stronger on my point until I was at a level of shouting, which I never, ever shout, which was shocking to me. And then all of a sudden, the person calmed down. They completely calmed down. The truth is that life can be extremely stressful. It's so easy in today's world to feel alone, abandoned, unseen, unheard. But imagine being rejected and abandoned by your own parents and abandoned by your community. And that is exactly what happened to our Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. I'm so excited to share a free webinar with you, and it is called The Prophet's Pain, Understanding Our Own Pain with the Story of Ibrahim, peace be upon him. It's an introductory webinar to a course that I will be launching very soon, God willing. We're going to be discussing so many important topics. We'll be discussing parental abandonment, community ostracism, divine trial, the power of faith, and healing and resilience. There are limited spots, so make sure you reserve your spot. All the information is under this video, and make sure you RSVP. Once the date is announced, you'll be the first to know. Thank you, and see you there, inshallah. So anyway, this person, they said they calmed down completely. And a few days after, I remember they kept trying to communicate with me again. And they told everyone who the people who connect us both, they were saying to them how, she's very angry. She has a lot of issues. She's just shouting, and she's just being like this, and she's not who I thought she was, and all of these things. And I remember even getting more triggered because this other person, the people she was communicating with, believed her, and they had no idea what was really going on, because a lot of the qualities and the things this person was doing was extremely passive aggressive. It was, you could miss it. Even a person who's sitting in the same room and the slide, they'll completely miss it. They'll just kind of be oblivious. I always call it they're oblivious to what is happening around them. Whereas some of us can read things a little bit more for a few reasons, because from our childhood we've had to we've had to read the room, and certain things that we see as passive aggressive slides, they're very obvious to us, right? So it's just like a little thing that we know that is going on. So anyway, without going into that, the point is this person was extremely calm when I was angry. And when I heard this saying about the devil, don't deal with the devil by cursing the devil, deal with it in the name of God, is because the way those two things is so different. And the reason why a person who is toxic tries to drive out a reaction from you is because that anger, it literally feeds them. It makes them feel like, oh, I'm not the one who's wrong. They're the ones who are messed up. Look at how they're acting. Look at them. They obviously don't have it together. So that means that I must be a good person, and I must be the one who kind of shows that virtuousness and integrity and shows how to be a good human being, when really what they've been doing all along is like pressing the buttons, and they are in denial about it, if they are the kind of people who don't see what they are doing wrong. So anyway, there is that aspect to it as well. But when you deal with a person with integrity in the name of God, which is so hard to do, or when there is a blatant lie happening in front of you, when there is an injustice that is happening to you or to people around you, when you deal with them in a way that is with integrity, where you know what your truth is, you are holding on to it, and you say, and you mentioned in the name of God, and you deal with that person in a way that you know that God is watching, knowing that God is the most just, that he sees everything, that you can trust him, and anything that they have done, there will be a recompense if they don't take accountability for it, and that justice will happen. That is all in the name of God, right? But normally what happens is we feel this sense of a lack of connection sometimes, a lack of trust from the Creator, to the lack of trust to the Creator, because we have been hurt so much. And for the people who have been abused and who have been traumatized and have been through so much in toxic relationships, people who have devilish qualities, it's really hard to see clearly, because you've been gaslit for so long, you've been made to think something for so long, you've made to feel something for so long. Your feelings are not important. The only feeling that is important is the one that you can feed the toxic person with, which is your anger, and sometimes just your positivity, your happiness, and your love is drained from you, right, to this person. So it's so beautiful. The solution to this is deal with toxic people, and deal as you would deal with the devil, which is in the name of God. Seek refuge in the Creator. Know that the Creator is the most trustworthy, that he will take care of everything, and you just need to hold on to your sense of self and put your boundaries down in a firm way, but not in an angry, screaming, shouting and infuriated way, but in a firm way, knowing, and that always comes, you can only ever know what your boundaries are when you have a strong sense of self. And that is how you deal with a person who is toxic. You deal with them by connecting with the Creator and doing everything else after that in the name of the Creator. And this works for any toxic person, as it works for the most toxic, who is the devil. I really hope this episode was beneficial for you. I just wanted to let you know I do have a free downloadable for you. It is a chapter from my book, The Woke Writer. It is all about letting go. And this is my book, The Woke Writer, right here. And I also have a 14-lesson course for you, and it is all free, and all the details are under this video. Have a beautiful and blessed day, everyone. Thank you for being here with me, and peace.